Today we've got to talk about COVID, we've got a flood, we've got itinerary changes, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday, it's October 25th of 2023, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please hit that subscribe button? We'd love to have you with us, and I think you will enjoy being part of the conversation here. If you appreciate my updates, would you also please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you so very much. Now, let's start at the top. Take yourself back in time to March of 2020, and maybe even a little bit before that. Whenever I think about the beginning of COVID, I think of Gordon and I going on our Antarctica cruise. We departed out of Buenos Aires on January 16th of 2020, and COVID was not even on anyone's radar at that point. When we returned, I think it was on February 6th, I want to say, to Santiago, Chile there as we were at the airport. We still didn't hear anything about COVID. We just noticed that as you got checked in at the airport, they asked you if you had been to China. Now, I noticed, and I still remember this, someone at another desk there in checking in next to us there, saying that they had been to China, but nothing changed. The agent made note of it, and everything proceeded as normal. And then as we got home, still, I would say not a whole lot until we got a little bit closer to that complete shutdown when everybody had to stay home with what we thought would be 2 weeks, which I think really shows us that none of us really knew what was going on and had any inkling that it would take so long to go through the whole process that unfolded of what COVID was and the pandemic that it was. Well, at the beginning of March 2020, as things were still going quite a bit as normal. At least they were in our world, and I was trying to remember back in the news at that time, but Princess went ahead and ran their previously scheduled cruise from New Zealand to Australia. We all probably remember hearing about the Ruby Princess being there in Australia for quite some time. A lot of people getting sick on that ship. There were a few passengers that actually passed away. And as a result of everything, there have been lawsuits against the Carnival Corporation, the holder of Princess Cruises, because people wanted their medical bills covered and they wanted damages for having been on that cruise. Well, we've just had a ruling from a judge in Australia, and he sided on the plaintiff's side and said that, yep, Carnival Corporation, his exact words, it says, knew or ought to have known about the heightened risk of coronavirus infection on the vessel and its potentially lethal consequences. Interestingly enough, though, he allowed that 700 other people that would like to be part of a class action will be permitted to do that, but awarding damages to the lady who was the lead complaint in this particular lawsuit, he gave her $4,400 to cover her medical expenses that they had incurred, but did not award her the damages. They wanted $360,000, and so I kind of think the judge took the way up the middle and thought, well, the cruise line can pay, and I would love to hear from you. Everybody tell me what you think. Thought, well, they can pay for those medical bills, but at the same time, it sounds a little bit like maybe he did think a little bit that how would we have ever known of what was going to happen with COVID? So tell me what you all think about that. It'll be really interesting to see if this case really swings the door open wide even to a lot of people lodging complaints, filing lawsuits against cruise lines for anything that happened during that time period. And if you happen to be on a ship, would you be filing a lawsuit if you were on the ship during that time? If you don't want to say, you don't have to. I just find it all such an interesting situation. This story, though, really, you all know that as every time I get the chance, I remind everyone to really consider having insurance when you travel. I don't think it matters how you get your insurance, but have some insurance, because we all go through life and we think we know what's going to happen, but none of us do. And very unexpected things can happen as you go on a trip, or even when you stay home, unexpected things can happen. But it's really nice to have that extra financial protection of insurance. I would also be really interested to know if all these people who want to sue Carnival Corp on this particular one for the Ruby Princess, if they didn't have insurance to pay for their medical expenses, or if they're looking more for the damages. It's just a really interesting situation with everything that went on with that. So let me know what you all think about it. The next important thing we need to talk about is a flood. So the Carnival Radiance sails round trip out of Los Angeles there, and someone who is a passenger on board made a video when they woke up in the morning, actually in the middle of the night, I think it was, and water was gushing into their stateroom. And so they've got a picture. I don't do TikTok where they posted it, but some of the news stories have a little bit of that footage, and it flooded their room there. And then you can see down the hall, there's water going down the hall. And so of course, that is really unfortunate happening. It does happen now and again. We hear it reported. And so I was thinking about it in a way that I often look at things of like, well, what can we learn from this? And one thing that occurred to me is I noticed that in the footage that I saw of their room there, that there were other things on the floor. They were showing the water on the floor. And I know some things could be knocked there depending on, if it was hitting on the desk. It would knock the things onto the floor as well. But it's a great reminder to me to just leave my shoes on the floor. I'll be careful to not leave bags on the floor. I tend to put, like if you've been shopping or you've got your tote bag you use on the ship, put it up so that it won't get wet if water starts coming in on the floor of your cabin. But truly my heart goes out to these people that are here on their vacation. And with looking down that hallway of all the water going down the hall, clearly other cabins must surely have been affected. And so I don't know if the cruise line will have enough cabins to move people to, or if they try to dry it out and then have you stay in the same cabin. That's surely not optimal. So if anyone happens to be on the Carnival Radiance, let us know about everything and how that goes. Or if you've been on a ship and this has happened before, let us know so that we can all be prepared if that happens to us. Along with letting you know about that on Carnival, I'm going on my Carnival celebration cruise there on November 5th, and I wanted to let you know that I went ahead this morning and submitted our shareholder statement to the address, the email address that you send it to for Carnival to get your shareholder onboard credit. And let me tell you, within 2 hours, I had the email back saying that $100 onboard credit had been added to our account on board for our shipboard spending. And so I just wanted to remind everybody that that is a perk. I have personally done it for Princess and Holland America and now Carnival, and it works every time. I love with Carnival how you submit that request. You get the email back from the automated system, and then they email you back also letting you know that they have done it. So I think Carnival does a really good job with that. When I've submitted it on Princess before and Holland America, they haven't told me when it's been added to the account. You just have to keep checking to see if you've got more onboard credit. And so I'm happy that that's been taken care of, and just wanted to remind you all about that perk. Don't miss it. Yesterday, Carnival stock was at about $11 and something. So it's an affordable time to buy it if you don't have any stock yet. Alrighty, this year has been a very, very blustery season, very stormy season down in the Caribbean, and truly in a lot of other places as well. But once again, high winds are impacting cruises down in the Caribbean, and Oasis of the Seas, this is kind of fun. Oasis of the Seas right now is sailing round trip out of New York, and they have to miss some of their ports that they were going to call at. But yesterday they were in Port Canaveral, and today they are in Fort Lauderdale. Now, Fort Lauderdale was unscheduled, and but they get to spend the day there. And if I had to, due to high winds, I had to spend a day in Fort Lauderdale, that would be okay with me. Fort Lauderdale has a lot of really beautiful things to see. They've got beautiful beaches, they've got good shopping, they've got fun places to eat there. It's a good place if you have to go somewhere in a storm. So I wanted to let you know about that. They are still going to get to go to Nassau in the Bahamas tomorrow, and then their trip back to New York looks like it won't be impacted by the storm. They should be able to get back there on time. Also, Allure of the Seas is another one that's being impacted by the storm. They're having to miss their perfect day at Coco Cay as well as Labadee in Haiti. They are not going to be able to call there. but I'm sure they're making the best out of it. I haven't heard or seen yet if there is another port that is being added in place of that. Okay, now another itinerary change I wanted to let you know about is our Discovery Princess. She is going to be sailing, as she has done before, those Mexican Riviera cruises this season. And so she was up in Alaska, and now she is back down out of Los Angeles. And indeed, that's the ship we're going on for our Total Eclipse cruise. So excited about that. But anyway, so the January 27th sailing, due to routine engine maintenance, they are tweaking their times in Cabo San Lucas. So they were supposed to be there from noon until 8 p.m. And now they are going to be there from 2 in the afternoon until 9 in the evening. And when I think of Cabo, I think of I love those sailboat tours that will take you out and then you get to jump off the boat and swim around. We had the best time doing that. We did it in October of 2021, and then when I went by myself at the end of October last year, I went and did it again, even on my own, and had a wonderful time. The water there is so warm in October. It is absolutely spectacular. So that's what I would recommend if you're going to Cabo. Along with that, the other thing I think about in Cabo is the 2 times we've been there as it has gotten dark in the evening. I love how both times there were a lot of the local boats that have lots of lights on, and some of them will go by with music. It's just really fun to be out on your balcony or up enjoying on the top of the ship and taking in the beautiful views. The sunset over the mountains is spectacular. So I hope that everyone enjoys their stop in Cabo. The last thing, this is a change because of what is going on there with the war in Israel. Windstar has announced that they are also changing their winter season, and they were due to sail more in the Mideast, and they are changing it so that now they're going to pretty much be running sailings that go between Rome and Barcelona, so back and forth, but they are going to call in Marseille. They are going to have overnights. Get this, you guys, overnights in Rome, in Barcelona, and in Monte Carlo. How fun would that be? And so they've got a lot they're offering. They've got special cruises that will also go over Christmas and New Year's. And by the way, the ship that they are changing that on is the Star Legend. The Star Legend, they just barely spent a fortune renovating, and that ship has only suites. Those are going to be amazing cruises. So if you're looking for something extra special to do, Windstar is a lovely choice. I have not done Windstar yet. Gordon's parents did Windstar a couple of times, I believe, and I've talked with a lot of other people who have done it, and they can't recommend it highly enough. They have absolutely loved it. So put that out there for you. And then one other thing, by the way, this is an afterthought, Avalon River Cruises. Avalon is having what they call their Globetrotter sale right now, and they are including airfare, which if you have looked at airfare to Europe right now, it is expensive. So that is a big deal that they are offering air. So just wanted to let you know about that as well. And if you need help booking any of those, I would be delighted to help you. If you happen to be on a cruise ship, I would love to hear from you. We always love to hear how the entertainment's going, how the food is, what the Wi-Fi's like, the overall vibe, what are you enjoying, and just let us know how it's going. And that's across all the cruise lines. We would really enjoy hearing from you. And I look forward to reading your comments. So thank you very much for being here with me. I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.